Right, Miss Kat?
Wat is er hier op man? Wat sê dit nou?
Yes.
Hi Karina. Karina,
Goeiemôre spreker.
goeiemôre. Kan jy vir ons sien is 11:00? Kan jy ons agenda vir ons opsit asseblief dat ons begin?
Madam Speaker, the agenda is supposed to be on screen. Can it just be confirmed?
It is on the screen, Karina. If you can just scroll down to the start of the points on the agenda, the opening. There you are. Thank you.
Yeah, there you are. Thank you, Karina. Good morning, councillors.
Môre speaker.
Good morning.
Morning, Speaker.
Good morning. Morning. I hope and trust each and every one of you are well. Good morning to the MM and the officials. And welcome by this morning's meeting. Before the opening, it's my privilege to ask Councillor Hannes Smith if he will open this morning's meeting for us. Councillor Smith? Councillor Hannes Smith?
Yes, Speaker.
Can you please open the meeting with the prayer? The meeting with a prayer, please.
Okay, kom ons sluit ons oë. Liefdevolle God en Hemelvader, in hierdie oggend wil ons vir U kom dank, kom loof en kom prys vir U genade en U liefde wat so groot is. Dankie Here dat U vir ons vanmôre opgewek het in 'n nuwe dag. Dankie Vader dat ons in U naam kan begin om hierdie vergadering voort te sit. Ek wil kom bid en vra Hemelvader dat U vir ons as raadslede en amptenare die insig en die wysheid sal gee, Here, om besluite te neem wat tot voordeel van ons gemeenskap is, Hemelvader, maar dat dit ook tot eer en verheerliking van U naam sal strek. Seën ons in alles wat ons sal doen in hierdie dag en seën ons in alles wat ons sal doen vorentoe, Hemelvader, dat dit alles sal geskied in U heilige naam. Ons bid dit en vra dit nie uit verdienste nie, maar uit genade met baie danksegging. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, I assume everybody's sound is fine. Nothing to worry about. So that we can start our meeting on a very positive note. We are on point number C2, election of acting speaker. That's not necessary, But I want to ask you something. Our rules of orders give me the permission to put something, an extra point on matters for notification. And that is, if you remember correct, we said while we are in this COVID pandemic, we will ask the MM if that will be a standing item for each councillor meeting, just to give feedback so that all of us know where we are with COVID-19 and the mayor can fill in with the MM. Is that fine with you? That will be the last minute on the last point on notifications. Okay, then we move on to point number C3, disclosure of any direct or indirect interest by councillors and officials. And I want to plead with you. I remember very correct, I asked all the different parties' whips to see that all the interest, disclosure of interest must be in. And my understanding is there's still some paperwork outstanding. Please, councillors, see that it got to Ms. Willemse or even to Karina, but it must come in. Please, councillors. I'm very, very disappointed against that each month we had to come and ask that there's still some paperwork outstanding. Madam Mayor, your hand is up.
Thank you, Speaker. I would just like thank you for this information. Just like to remind councillors to put it all in context. The reason why we need the forms, the completed forms, is for the Auditor General. So when our books are audited, we need to have these forms in any which way that the councillors has filled it, completed it. We have to have that forms for the auditor's purposes. So that's why we keep on nagging to have those forms submitted, please. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There you've got your answer. So you know how necessary that is, that the forms must get to the admin office. Is that fine, councillors? Then we move on to point C4, applications for leave of absence. Mr. Chief Whip.
Good morning, Speaker, Mayor, MM, officials, councillors. Good morning. Speaker, we just received two apologies. The one is Councillor Lantu, who lost her sister during the week, and she won't be able to attend because she attend to the bereaved family. And then Councillor Blom is still struggling to get connected. They have a problem with connection in that side. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Whip. I just received apology from Councillor Klaas that you won't be here today. Is there any other apologies, councillors, that anyone know of? I accept that's a no. Then we can move on. Then we are on C number 5, statement and communications by the Speaker. Dear Honourable Executive Mayor, Honourable Deputy Executive Mayor, Honourable Committee members, Honourable Chief Whip and members of Council, the Municipal Manager, Executive Directors of the different departments, officials of the different departments, I would like to praise God this morning because God is good for our lives, for the privilege to open our eyes today. So I would like that all of us have a moment of silence for all lost life, not due only to COVID, but due to illness, to accidents, to everything that's not only happened in the Cape Winelands, but in South Africa. Can we have a moment of silence before I continue, please? Thank you, councillors. I would like to congratulate the following councillors who celebrate their birthdays. July month, it was the 11th, Councillor Stein. The 12th, it was Councillor Ernest Gekiso. The 15th, it was our mayor, executive mayor of Cape Winelands. The 24th, it was Councillor Charles Dummons. And the 28th, it was Councillor Rens. I hope you enjoy the day with your family, friends, and colleagues. We wish you all the blessings for the year and the road ahead. There are still, I did talk about that, about the outstanding declaration form of interest. And I would like to reiterate again, please see that it get to Ms. R. Williams. Councillors, I would like to reiterate, please be safe, do the necessary precautions, wash your hands more regularly, wear your mask and stay safe. We are all at risk and no one is immune against the coronavirus. I thank you. Can we move on? Then we are on point number C6, statement and communication by the Executive Mayor. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and good morning, Speaker. Good morning to all the councillors, Executive Deputy Mayor and MICO members and councillors, Municipal Manager and all our officials present today. A very good morning to you all. It is again a lovely Cape Winelands day today. And it's actually difficult to think that we sit in such a beautiful weather condition and we have to deal with this very, very awesome, not awesome, nasty virus. I have a few things to share with you today, councillors, in my comments. First of all, I would like to link on to what the speaker has already said, and that is that I would like to share my condolences also to all who have lost loved ones due to COVID-19. It's getting very close to home now, and we really share our deepest condolences, especially to the ones due to COVID-19, because that is a very lonely road. It is a traumatic road. And yes, we're thinking of all of them, not excluding all the other deaths that we have experienced in our area also. There is also a number of our national ministers who tested positive, and it is a fight for them to get healthy again. We're thinking of all of them. Then secondly, I would like to share our deepest condolences with Councillor Linda Lando. She has lost her only sister, the 25-year-old Lindelba, also due to COVID-19 related illness. And in her absence, Councillor Lando, we're thinking about you and we wish you all of the best for all the arrangements and the bereavement process that you need to go through now. Then thirdly, I would like to, it is really a wish from the bottom of my heart this morning to convey my appreciation to the employee corps of the Cape Winelands District Municipality for working very hard on strategies to deal with the post-COVID-19 phase whilst still managing and coordinating the pandemic. Councillors, I have to share with you, and I think it will come up again and again today in the meeting. We have to deal with the pandemic as it is currently, and I will give you an update shortly. But also our officials have to set view now on what's going to happen post-COVID. And I applaud our officials under the guidance of Mr. Henry Prince for really unpacking plans and strategies and making sure that we are there also when the post-COVID, when the disaster is nullified and when everything is gone, then we'll have to pick up all the pieces and we have to be there rendering our services again. So thank you, MM and all the employees working very hard also to focus on actually two things at the same time. Then fourthly, I'm would like to share with you a very brief and a very high-level update on the status of the Cape Highlands hotspot for the COVID-19 situation. I'm asking in there you are. Councillors, I would like to share with you 6 themes, if I can call it that, and I will talk on this in the item that the speaker has added to the notification section again. So I will not go into too much detail now, but I would like to share with you that across the Western Cape as a province, we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic in 6 themes. The 6 themes that we have on the screen now is the ones in which we all report back and which all strategies and plans and actions are planned and also executed. So we deal with, first of all, the testing and the treatment. And I am aware of Councillor Snyder's. He had some questions on the testing and treatment. Councillor Snyder's, we can deal with this, I think, in the item for notification. But testing and treatment is also referred to by some as case management. That is the first theme, and this is of course it's number 1, the testing and the treatment, and also the second theme on the quarantine and isolation. Those 2 are driven by the Department of Health, so we take our lead from the Department of Health there. But so we work on the testing and the treatment. That is the triage, and also then of course the case management, and secondly the quarantine and isolation theme. Yes, I will unpack the detail later on. Then thirdly, the very can I say the very important, I would say the most important at this point in time, is the one of civil compliance. And this is the one where Cape Highlands is really very important, and we have a huge role to fulfill with regards to our communication. And I will also unpack this a little bit later further on. Then the 4th theme is the slowing of the spread. And I would like to share with you, councillors, that there is now not only a plateau anymore, there is a slow indication, very slow but very steady indication that there is a decrease in the numbers of positive cases, especially from City of Cape Town. So somehow we have succeeded in reaching the slowing of the spread. But as we must all remember, the virus came to the Cape Highlands a little bit later than it was in Cape Town. So we will be following suit to Cape Town within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Perhaps we're still in the plateau phase, but we will get to the decrease. As it is this morning, as I'm speaking to you, Garden Route district is still in a very, very concerning situation. They are growing rapidly. But it will also get to them that they will be able to slow and to also to decrease the spread. The 4th theme for dealing with this pandemic is the one on humanitarian relief and food security. And this is where our officials really shine. I must say, I can share with you that Mr. Peter Williams, our ED for Social and Rural Development, he is representing the Cape Highlands on different platforms, and they're doing excellent work. I will also unpack a little bit more of this when we get to that point. And then the last one I've already referred to is the one of economic recovery. This is part and parcel of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. We have to keep on working to the fact that we have to recover our economic situation. As it is today, as I speak to you, we stand to lose more than 18,000 job opportunities in the wine industry alone in the Western Cape. And I don't have the exact numbers. They talk about 300,000 plus in the Western Cape. Job opportunities to be lost due to the tourism and the complete ban on tourism. So we are working very hard to keep our role there, to keep our role alive. But I will also speak on this one a little bit later. These are the 6 themes in which we work when we deal with this pandemic. And this goes along with many, many meetings and many strategies and many plans and many inputs and much resources, money mostly, and donations from public and private sector. So just to give you a very brief update, and the detail will follow a little bit later. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Reyns, I see your hand was up. Councillor Reyns, can you hear me?
Yes, Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I just want to bring one issue under your attention, but actually the mayor and the municipal manager. So with the authorization of the ANC caucus and your permission, if you allow me, then I will just sharply just raise it, Speaker.
You may continue.
Yeah, Speaker, thank you, man. And I'm directing this information to the mayor and the municipal manager. I understand that we are not working under normal conditions. But even though, Speaker, we dare failing our communities. The issue I want to raise here, Speaker, is the issue around the title deeds. It's now for the 4th time that I have to deal with this matter, and I've brought it to the relevant department. And the information I got, Speaker, is that we have a challenge as the Cape Winelands to get hold of lawyers who are interested to deal with the relevant information, the administration, and the finalization of this title deeds. And this is related to the Hermon housing people. Because I've raised it, Speaker, but I can tell you it's become frustrating because nothing is happened up till now. There might be some movement internally, but I mean, I don't think it's fair for the relevant residents who approach me to assist them and engage with the administration, not to get any satisfaction. So I even raised it with the municipal manager, and even he himself was surprised when I said, but I understand we have a challenge with lawyers who need to deal with this thing. So I hope raising it here on this platform, Speaker, this matter will get the necessary attention so that we can finalize and give the people the necessary satisfaction, so that they also can feel that they are owners of their own houses. I hope the mayor and the municipal manager really can try to assist and to speed up and to finalize this chapter. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Reyns. You said you talked to the municipal manager and the mayor, if they can perhaps assist. If there's anything that they can do.
I engaged with the municipal manager, but it's the first time I brought it under the attention of the mayor. But I believe they are capable enough to bridge this matter to finalization.
Okay,
thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. This was not part of my comments now, but I take note of what Councillor Reyns is sharing with us. We are equally concerned about the title deeds. For now, I take serious note of this, and I will take this up with the MM in a discussion after the council meeting, and we will bring the information back. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Speaker, may I respond? Speaker?
Yes, Mr. MM.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Councillor Reyns. So for all of the council, and they can also be informed, we are busy in the process of appointing lawyers. We have submitted what we call our pre-specs meeting. So we have drawn up specifications to appoint lawyers so that we are able to comply to supply chain management practices. And so we have a pre-specs, and then we have a specs meeting. So the process of appointing lawyers to deal with the matter, we have started that. We have commenced with that. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Councillor Alderman Steerman, your hand is up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Mayor, if I look at your presentation, you are talking about 6 pillars, and one of the pillars is public community participation. And I believe that I'm on record on several occasions that the involvement of councillors that can make a contribution or can even make a compact. I'm now referring to the 3rd one, civil compliance. And as we notice and observe around us, it seems that there are many, many obstacles and many problems that our police, even our traffic departments, municipalities are struggling with civil compliance. can we appeal yourself that is sitting in a position that is speaking on provincial level, that we appeal to you and we plead to you that please involve us as councils as well. Even if I still look at pictures and photos where, sorry, my apologies for that cough. If we notice what we are seeing on social media, it seems that certain councils are not involved. And my plea again this morning is please invite us to become involved. We cannot, when it comes to official platforms, we cannot just walk into that platform without invitation. Thank you very much. I hope that my plea this time will be adhered to.
Thank you, Councillor. Madam Mayor.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I would like to respond here. And I would like to share with Councillor Skierman, but to Alderman Skierman, but also to all the other councillors. Yes, I have indicated that the civil compliance is the biggest challenge at the current moment in dealing with the coronavirus. I'm going to tell you a little bit later on our hotspot meetings that we have every week. And in that particular meeting, we have to unpack plans and activities, how we can actually reach out to the communities, because as you all know now, the virus is actually, the fight of the virus is actually in the hands of each and every individual. So what was undertaken a week ago in our hotspot, actually longer ago, is from the Cape Winelands side, that we will in Cape Winelands implement a ward-based strategy, and that is exactly where we need to involve every ward councillor. And Mr. Sean Minis is currently busy with that. He had the time frame of implementing this strategy by the beginning of December, and he was asked to speed up the whole plan because as Alderman Skierman has indicated, we cannot wait until December. We have to be in place now. So in our next hotspot meeting, we will receive his clear answer to that, what he see, how we can implement that. So yes, Alderman Skierman, that is something that in the dealing with the pandemic is very relevant, and it is on the table, if I may say so, and you will be hearing from us very soon going forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam
Councillors,
Speaker.
Councillors, can I just ask you, there's going to be a point, you remember when I opened the agenda, I said the rules of order, there will be a discussion point. This will be the last point on notification. There you can ask questions or address what you think is worth it. Can we just move on? Let we come to notification, and then I assure you, you can talk or say whatever you want to. Is it fine with you?
Madam Speaker, with your permission, I don't want to go back to this slides and this discussion. So when you deal with it, I don't want to come back. The only request is now, after the mayor informed us, is that rather to open the invitation that if you stick to ward council, it means that there are other councils that might make a contribution that will not be invited. So that's my only request. I will leave the point now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, councillors. Can we then continue? Bongani, you want to say something? Add something? Bongani, your hand is up. Bongani?
Speaker.
Yes?
Speaker.
Yes, Bongani.
Yeah. Good morning, Speaker and councillors. So,
good morning,
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I just, but Councillor Skierman just covered me by saying that Madam Mayor, we have asked this thing long time ago that we are asking to be included to the programs. Irrespective, now I hear Madam Mayor is saying, she's saying actually, I don't know who's going to include what councillors, as I'm saying that Mr. Skirman has just said that our plea again is to say that it can be championed by Cape Winelands, and in the Cape Winelands you don't have ward councillors that much. Mostly are in few municipalities. What is our request is to be included. Let's say now you are saying 1 or 2, the ANC must send 1 or 2 councillors to be included, so much that we can't have the mob unnecessary. Request must be sent to us, maybe for an example, to the chief whips, to say that give us 2 names, there's a program or project there, send, 2 councillors, whatever, or 1 if it needs be, it will be determined by the call from your side as leadership of the council. Thank you.
Thank you, councillors. Can we then move forward? We are now on point number 7. Consideration of notices of motion, none that I know of. And then point number 8, 9, consideration of notices of questions. Point number 9 is consideration of motions of urgency, none that I know of. Then we are on C10, the confirmation of the minutes of the council meeting held on Thursday, 25th June.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Mayor.
Can I please take you to there's a point that we need to rectify on this minutes. If I can ask Karina to take us to page 86, please. Item C, 16.6. And if I can just share with councillors, it referred to the disciplinary hearing and the recovery of money that the disciplinary board has found to be recovered. And if we go to case number 3, Karina, can we move the minutes to case number 3?
Yes.
There is a recommendation A and a recommendation B. Case number 3, can you just scroll down a little bit more, Karina? Under case 3, it was to do with the construction and the upgrade of the ablution facilities at the Andre Dorings Primary School. We discussed the A and the B, that cognizance be taken that fruitless and wasteful expenditure was made that would have been avoided if reasonable care was exercised. The matter referred to the Municipal Manager Office to proceed with consequence management in terms of the municipal regulations on financial misconduct. But then also we need to add a number 3, a number C there. And I'd just like to get hold of the item now. We need to add a number C there, stating that the fruitless and the wasteful expenditure be recovered. If you can recall correctly, there was this one case where MSCOA also said that, IMPAC also said that the money is recoverable. So we need to add number C there, the fruitless and wasteful expenditure be recovered. As a matter of fact, the process has already started to recover the money, but it doesn't reflect in our minutes. So can I please ask the scribe just to add the number C, that fruitless and wasteful expenditure be recovered. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Then I would think that we can then consider the minutes a true reflection of what happened in that meeting.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillors? Where's my deputy today?
Yeah, Speaker, we will confirm the minutes, Speaker, after that, what the mayor's input.
Thank you, Councillor. Can we get a seconder for that?
I've moved and the deputy seconded, Mayor. Speaker.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then it's acceptable. Then we can move on. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Deputy. Karina, can you put back the agenda for us, please? Okay. Then we are on point number 10.2, report by the MM, action minutes of the council meeting held on Thursday, 25th of June 2020. Mr. MM.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. All matters attended to.
Thank you. Then we are on point C11, interviews with or presentations by deputations, none that I know of. Then we are on C12, urgent matters submitted by the municipal manager. Also none that I know of.
None.
Thank you. Then we are on C13, a report by the Executive Mayoral Committee meeting held on Tuesday, 9th June 2020.
Those were circulated, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam Speaker, whilst I'm talking, can I just please just mention something? There is a communication on our council group that some of our councillors are struggling to get into this meeting. Councillor Sambokwe, Councillor Kankiso, there are a number of councillors writing on our council group that they are struggling. Can I just ask either Charmaine Potgieter or Karina, I don't know how they will deal with this, to make sure that they get them into this meeting. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mayor. Charmaine, can we move then on with while Charmaine try to get them on, can we move on? Karina, we can move on.
Madam Speaker, yes, you can move on. I'm aware of the communication that we received from councillors. I can, however, confirm that we are checking constantly. However, there are nobody in the lobby that we could find, but I will also try to get the IT division into the meeting.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, can you then move on with the agenda on the board, please? Then we are matters of which cognizance were taken. Mr. MM, I'm going to hand over to you. That is only for notification.
Yes. Madam Speaker. Yes. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, Speaker, these are the MACO meeting minutes. We have already confirmed that. We can move on to the next item, the first one on the notification, items for notification. There you are. Thank you.
Mr. MM.
Thank you.
Mr. MM.
Yes, Madam.
You can move forward.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, councillors, this is the matter of compliance in terms of our municipal minimum competency levels, so it's submitted for notification.
Okay, then you can move on to the next one.
Speaker, while she's moving on to the next point, there's also in the chat box a request by Spesaline. I'm not sure who that is. She says, he says, Speaker, I cannot raise my hand, and he's trying to speak. Can you please recognize me, Madam Speaker? That is Spesaline, Madam Speaker.
It's Councillor Snyders.
Councillor Snyders, your hand is not in front of me. Do you want to say something? Councillor Snyders? Councillor Snyders? We must have lost him. Councillor Snyders, are you there? Okay, Mr. MM, then you can move on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the next item is again for Council to take cognizance of our report in terms of staff salaries, wages and allowances and benefits. And I shall do just submit it, its notification, but so for Council to take note of.
Thank you. Then we are on 14.3, Mr. MM.
Likewise, the withdrawals, Madam Speaker, item, oh, is it 16, 14 point, yes, 14.3. It's withdrawals from our bank account in terms of section 114 of the MFMA. It is incumbent on the accounting officer to submit such withdrawals for the quarter, and so I do so at this meeting.
Thank you. Then we are on 14.4.
Thank you. 14.4, our financial quarterly report. It is in terms of section 52 of the MFMA that we do submit the report in terms of our financial performance for the quarter of 1st of April to 30th of June 2020.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Then we are on 14.5.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And again, in terms of the SDBIP, again, in terms of we need to submit after the approval of the budget for the 2020-2021 budget, we need to submit within a certain time period to Council our SDBIP, the Service Delivery Budget and Implementation Plan, which has already been submitted to the Mayor. The Mayor need to approve of it, so we submit that the SDBIP for notification to full Council.
Thank you, Mr. MM. We are now then. I'm now going to give the Mayor.
Madam Speaker, before you move on to the next point on the agenda, Councillor Snyders has indicated in the chat box, I don't know whether you can see that, he's indicated in the chat box that what he wants to know is, he says, sorry to take you back, but can we please get an update on the extension of the communication contract? If extended, how much is the financial damage to the municipality? I don't know how you would like to deal with this. It will perhaps go with the previous item on the withdrawals, or can the MM respond to that, Madam Speaker?
I think the MM can respond to that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. I think Councillor is referring to the extension of the, let's call it the PABX system. And the one with Nashua. I do not have the detail that the councillor is referring to now, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's financial damage, but the expenditure. So I would rather respond to the councillor on receipt of the information and then submit it to the councillor.
Councillor, can you hear the MM? He lowered his hand. There's nothing in the chat box. Councillor Snyders, are you satisfied?
Yes, he's saying thanks. So we will do.
Okay, thank you. Then we can move on. We are now, I am now going to give the Mayor and the MM. You remember I said that we're going to talk about the COVID. We said we want a monthly report on COVID and how the district is involved. I'm first going to ask the MM if he wants to start first, and then the Mayor. She can fill in with him.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me start by saying that the current situation in terms of cases, positive cases in the district stands at 10,380, Recovery is at 8,795, and I want to emphasize the recoveries because that gives us a recovery rate of just below 85% in the Cape Winelands. We have deaths of 332, which is the sad part, and active cases as we stand is at 1,253. Again, I said I want to reiterate that we should take note and cognizance of our recovery rate, which is a very positive sign for us, Madam Speaker. So we've made progress in terms of that. However, we need to stay vigilant. There is evidence as we receive it in our report that there is let me say a stabilization in the Western Cape as a whole, but we do have certain areas, as Madam Meyer has previously referred to. If we look at what is happening in the Garden Route, that they are a bit, if I say, delayed in their peak to the rest of the province. But also that is the case in the country where we have a delayed peak of the first wave. But we need to stay vigilant so that we do not have flare-ups and prevent flare-ups. So it is important that we do follow proper hygiene processes and continue to be compliant to the regulations, Madam Speaker and Council. So as a hotspot, we do meet on a weekly basis, and we are targeting our communication efforts to do the active screening and active case management and protection of particularly the high-risk groups. We need to be mindful of the high-risk groups, those over 60, those with comorbidities, and there's a particular focus on those with diabetes and hypertension, because from the evidence so far it has proved that those are categories of high risk. The Cape Winelands District hotspot team also have been privileged with a team who are particularly looking at behavior and behavioral change. So they are also on board to assist us in strategies on behavioral change. So we are looking at various approaches and various tools to assist with this. But the main thing is to look at awareness and communication. Also, how do we assist with guidelines for particular communities and also employers, but also at schools, how do we assist in that part? We also need to get individuals to understand that they also have a responsibility, and it starts with an individual, whatever behavior that you choose to then also go about, and the things that you do. So we are engaging with a wider range, with a wider audience, and we have also included NGOs and CBOs as part of our hotspot strategy team. We will place further attention then on continued collaboration but also creating a greater sense of accountability by communities and the leadership in communities to address our current challenges and the needs that we have. Then, in terms of quarantine and isolation, we have seen an increase in uptake of it. So currently, we have just over around the 28% of the beds are occupied within the 8 facilities, and we are also looking at a process to make the quarantine and isolation site a more humane experience, because it could be lonely and you're already in an anxiety. So we need to look at some sort of amendments to how do we ensure that people are feeling that they are in a safe space and that they also have a homely environment that they could be safe and then experience that they are not outcasts of the community, if I may say so. We also have a good uptake of the special transport, the red dot system that has been implemented by the Department of Public Works and Transport, and especially in the Drakensberg area, where health workers could make use of the red dot system, but also those that need to be transferred to quarantine and isolation sites, that they can also make use of the red dot system that has been implemented by the department. On humanitarian relief and food security, there is ongoing, and we need to acknowledge the assistance of private sector. We need to acknowledge the assistance of the agricultural sector. We need to acknowledge the assistance of NGOs and CBOs who have really stepped up and assisted in making sure that we do not have a total breakdown and possible that people are destitute and not having food to eat. But we need to continue with this, and there is the signs are there of donor fatigue, if I may call it that. So it's another challenge, but we are looking at how to ensure that we have new energy, and we need to be crafty. How do we keep the efforts going around this? Civil compliance is and how to slow the spread. We are really battling with this one as a whole, and not only as Cape Winelands, local municipalities, as a district municipality, as a province in the country. We notice continuously how the lockdown regulations are being flouted and not being adhered to. However, the municipalities, in particular on the local level, are doing their uttermost and their best by continuing with vehicle control points, the number of vehicles stopped, taxis stopped. They issuing fines in terms of the COVID-19 regulations, and also arrests have taken place. But we remain, there are legal uncertainty and it creates challenges. Particularly, there's a lag between announcements by the president or ministers, but it doesn't necessarily flow through to the actual publication of regulations, and that sometimes lead to challenges and uncertainty when implementing it. But we will continue with that, and we will assist as far as possible and give advice to our communities, but also to our local municipalities. We have had, in terms of communication and awareness raising, we cannot do this alone. So we do have a very active communication cluster within the DJOC, in the district JOC, but also in the hotspot, where we are collaborating with all of the local municipalities, but also with sector departments, and now also in private sector. But also we have the behavioral change team on our team now to assist us in giving further advice. But there are certain things are going on within, and we always hear about the big ticket issues, but we've noticed even at schools with very small items and with very little, you can do a lot in giving the message across and getting the message across, such as what we would call tippy tap in the schools, on how and continuously how to wash your hands, and having the tippy taps at strategic places, and not only when you go to the bathrooms that you have access to water. But also in terms of first aid kits, we had one indication of a school that had stones being painted by learners and placed the correct distance in terms of social distancing. So when people come to school, they need to stand at a particular stone which has been painted. So that indicates then the social distancing. But just to say, there's also some innovation from our schools and our communities. So we need to further attention. We need to be placed on behavioral change, and we will continue with communication initiatives, and that is on radio, in WhatsApp messaging, in posters and so forth. We need to continue with that. In terms of economic recovery, also again various communication initiatives, and we try to spread as much information where business, whichever, from SMMEs to big business, can go to support, for support and assistance. So the Cape Winelands hosted an export advancement program, a webinar, and we have a number of municipalities that attended, number of companies that attended that. We had a JDA learning event with the EDP, the Economic Development Partnership, to just look at some of the lessons learned so far, particularly challenges associated with unemployment, and we are continuing this discussion, all to ensure that we have post-COVID, but even during the time of COVID, to activate the communities, but also to assistance to give to communities, all in the form of information and so forth. We also had the event where Mayor received 300 or 500 SMME toolkits for SMMEs, also regarding sanitization, and that has been distributed to Drakensberg municipality, and we are awaiting further toolkits and contributions from the Department of Economic Development and Tourism from the province to also deliver to other local municipalities. Stellenbosch had a very successful webinar, also a dialogue between Stellenbosch business and the municipality in terms of their COVID-19 response plan. And then Westgroves also released some promotional videos for the Cape Winelands, and this is all to do with post-COVID and making the area, the district, a district who is ready to continue to do business in a way, even in a safe way, during this pandemic. The tourism and restaurant industry is a concern, and continuously we are looking at ways to assist, because particularly in the tourism business and also the wine industry, they are two of the biggest sort of income drivers for the district as a whole, and the impact of that is being felt throughout the region, throughout the district. We do have a good relationship also with Agri Western Cape, and we make use also of their communication channels to reach as far and wide as possible with the messages that we want to get over. Very particular challenge regarding old age homes, and we do see an improvement in the old age homes. Up until last week, the infection rate came down from just around 190 to about 120. Unfortunately, tragically, we had deaths up from 20 to 29, but also we had recoveries up from 110 to 187. So we are continuously looking. There is better management at the homes after interventions by a particular task team, that has been coming out of the hotspot strategy, and all the relevant role players, the right people, are on that particular hotspot team to assist the old age homes. They do have continuous resource challenges, particularly in terms of in terms of PPE, but the province and particularly the Department of Social Development are looking at sustainable initiatives to ensure that they do have the PPE, sufficient PPE at the old age homes. In terms of, as I've mentioned earlier, we also have the NGOs part of hotspot strategies as the hotspot team, and we are really valuing their input and also their assistance. So what we are looking at is whenever, by way of an example, wherever there is a soup kitchen, perhaps, that at that particular space, we also see the opportunity and grab the opportunity, seize the opportunity to educate and to raise awareness, but at all other type of gatherings that we have, how do we ensure and inculcate how to slow the spread, and how do we increase civil compliance. So the goal is to reduce the spread. We are, as I said, just around 85%, and we want to increase that the recovery rate to more than 90%. We want to escalate and amplify our communication in terms of wearing a mask, practicing social distancing, use your sanitizers, and just to ensure that people's behavior are changed. We also want to care for community and staff, because it particularly when it comes to frontline staff, you have people and the employees are facing the cold face, which immediately sets in some sort of anxiety, and we need to manage that. Not only us as the district municipality, I'm talking about all organizations involved in fighting the pandemic. We're striving to protect the economy. The predictions are not very good, and we're looking at least the latest predictions that I've read in the newspapers and in the media is about a 2-year lag until we can get to normal, if I would say normal, meaning current growth rates. And then we need to move in terms of food relief to food security. Somehow we need to get that, and we're also looking throughout the district with the Department of Agriculture. They're looking at food gardens and so forth. So we then continue mitigating the risks, trying to mitigate the risk as best, but we also very much aware of the need of the communities, but we are hamstrung in many ways also by resources and so forth, but we will continue to do that. Madam Speaker, and then also just I would like to perhaps share some information regarding the institution, and that is the Cape Winelands District Municipality as the institution and as head of administration. I would like just to share that we do have an approved COVID-19 workplace plan and protocol, and this has been approved after consultation with Labour, with both the unions, and at the last LLF we've also presented to the unions a COVID-19 feedback report. We have our health and our safety protocols all in place, implemented and adhered to. PPE, currently we do have sufficient PPE, but we have an order out, a tender out for more, and we are beginning to struggle with some of it. But however, we still have some time to source that. Currently, we have sufficient. We in terms of our workplace protocol, in order to mitigate the risk of the spread, we have employees still working from home in terms of the principle of working from home if you can, and those employees are properly equipped to do so. And this is all also dependent on the operational need and requirements. So when that would determine also the physical work attendance that if need be, and then also in terms of the workplace protocol, workplace plan, we make provision for that, in that you can return to work and whenever you are called upon, and in many instances it does happen so. But we also ensure that employees at risk due to comorbidities or underlying conditions, that they are accommodated. And further on in this meeting, you will also have an item, particularly speaking to those with comorbidities and underlying conditions that cannot work from home. To date, we have had 10 positive cases reported to the district municipalities. And just to put council at ease and to give you comfort that the health protocols have been applied as had been regulated by the Department of Labor, Employment and Labor. And then we continue with the sanitization of our buildings on a regular process of regular intervals. We are busy with, and particularly in finance, with the year-end procedures and the preparation for the external audit. So those processes are continuing. As it stands currently, we need to submit our annual financial statements by the 31st of August. Nothing has changed so far. Although I am aware that there are discussions afoot of possibly giving postponement to that, an extension of time for that. But as it stands, we are preparing to continue to submit by the 31st of August, as is determined by law. So also as part of the year-end procedures, we also need to have the annual performance report, and all employees are working on that. We still need to do some work regarding that. And we are then also just giving the opportunity, or getting all of our employees to do the necessary in terms of the APR, because that is also part of the audit that the AG needs to do. You might have noticed from the President in his last speech to the nation, he referred to particular matters regarding possible corruption and malfeasance in terms of procurement processes. And again, let me put you at ease and give you comfort that the Auditor General, the President announced that the Auditor General would audit all COVID-19 related expenditure. I can give you the information that the Cape Winelands submitted all the information to the Auditor General that they requested in terms of the President's announcement. So with respect to that, we have submitted all the information to the Auditor General for them then to audit. So at this time, I can safely say that the municipality, Cape Winelands, is doing what it's supposed to be doing. We are not only attending to COVID-19, we need to continue with our normal activities and functions, and then also do COVID-19. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. MM. I'm going to ask the Mayor. Mayor, would you like to say something about that? And before the Mayor, I'll give you a chance. Mr. MM, I would like to ask you that this COVID-19 report be on each month. It must be on our agenda so that each and every councillor know where we stand with COVID-19, what is the numbers. I know there's a WhatsApp group on our phones for council, so that you can get all the information there as well. But let this be a standing item on our council agenda, please, each month. Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like just to add a few things before you take the questions. First of all, I would just like to remind our councillors that we must never forget that the Cape Winelands as a district, we have a coordinational function in all of this, the management of this disaster, this pandemic, and we take up that role very responsibly and very seriously. Hence, we have our structures in place. We work very well with all spheres of government, the 5B municipalities in our area, as well as the province, and also through the province, we regularly feed back to national. Hence, that is the information that you will see in the situational report. But I think what we're sharing with you today here is a bit more than what is in the situational report. And I would like to then just to remind councillors also that we are still in alert level 3. It is not business as usual, hence our own COVID-19 operational plan, which is then implemented in our buildings and amongst our councillors. We have to remember that it is not business as usual. We still have to fight this virus to go away. And as we know, it is common sense now by now already that we will have this virus with us for the next 18 to 24 months, or until we have available a successful vaccine, which is not near to be completed, that processes. So our structures, just to remind councillors, the different structures that we work through is our DCF, our District Coordinating Forum. We meet weekly with them, where we take the lead. Then we also have our district job meetings, and that in the district job we are represented by all 5B municipalities. So all the challenges from the Bs come directly to us through the job meetings from the B municipalities to our DJOG, and then from there it is escalated to the provincial JOG. And I also share those reports with Alderman Skierman and Councillor Boy, and all the mayors, of course. Then we also have access, and we take part in the cabinet meetings twice a week, where we then deal with these challenges which could not be solved on a district JOG level. Then we also have our local government meetings once a week. We have our hotspot meetings once a week. We have our safety and security tech meetings on a regular basis, and we also have our faith-based organisation meetings on a regular basis. And councillors can then take note that this is really a whole of society approach. This is not something that we can fight on our own as local government, and we have to have the buy-in of the whole of the society. Then the MM has addressed most of the things that I would like to share with you, but just to remind you of a few other things, and that comes from the questions in the chat box. First of all, Councillor Snyders, he is concerned about the fact that he thinks, or he's under the impression that Witzenberg and Breede Valley, that the statistics are not reliable, that they are questionable. Those are the numbers that we receive from our Department of Health. If there is a question, then we'll have to take that from our JOG meetings to address that. And is also concerned about the fact that Witzenberg does not even have an isolation facility. The MM has referred to the fact that some of the isolation facilities is not very, if I can say, consumer friendly. We must remember that this is a traumatic experience for people to leave their homes and to go and isolate in a different environment. So for that reason, the pine forest in Witzenberg was not optimally used. So for now, councillors, the Tweeskloof Lodge and Reeds, those two facilities, they are really quality venues, and they are now used for the isolation and the quarantine sites. And as the MM has referred to, there's only a 28% uptake of that. That is also part of our communication to motivate people to really rather go to the isolation site if they cannot isolate safely and securely in their own homes. Then there's also the Cromerie site, which is really a very, very good site. These narratives from people who attend these sites, and very positive. So, Councillor Snyders, that is my answer to your question there. Then he also requested a blitz campaign to motivate people to wear their masks. And on the civil compliance theme, that is where our communication plays a huge role. And I have to lift my hat very high for Mr. Anne Otto, who is the lead in that cluster from Cape Wineland side. And councillors, there is a competition on our website and on Facebook, and I would like you to go and have a look at that, where you can take a selfie where you are wearing your own mask, and there's some prizes up for grabs. And that is a very positive way, and I must say that from the cabinet there's huge appreciation for this. It's a positive way of trying to motivate people, especially young people, to wear the masks. You know that the young people, they don't always show symptoms, but they don't know whether they are indeed a super carrier, and they can take this virus back to their home, where they perhaps have their Oma and Opa living with them. So it is for all of us to be responsible and to wear our masks and to do all the rest of the sanitizing and the social distancing. Yes, and then I would like to say that although there is a slow indication of a decrease, we must be very vigilant, because all over the world we have seen that there is a second and a third outbreak. We don't want to go there. So that's why I'm saying it's not business as usual. Please keep vigilant, keep to the rules, keep to the mandates, wear your masks. That is now a mandatory call. And then, yes, the Imam has said all the rest. All that I can add, and would like to add this on the humanitarian relief side, is that it is for me personally a miracle to see the number of donations and the number of food that we deliver on a daily and on a weekly basis. There's some questions now, some uncertainty with regards to schools and the school feeding program. That is currently under discussion, and the Imam has already said that we are waiting the regulations in that regard. Because in our area, there are schools in the rural area, it is simply too costly, and it's not possible for children to come to school just for a plate of food and then go back home again. So there will have to be alternative arrangements, and that is what is currently under discussion. Because as we know, for many of these children, that will be the only food that they receive on a daily basis. I think I've covered all the questions in the chat box now. Let me just quickly scroll down, speaker, to see if there are any more. Yes, Mr. Snyders also said there's a tremendous increase in people being dismissed from work, citing COVID-19 economic reasons. That is, of course, part of the whole downside now. And as we've heard, there's also now more money being made available for the UIF to be paid out, and also the new International Monetary Fund bank loan. It will come through, but the losses of jobs and the downscaling of business is our biggest threat on an economic basis. And that is what we have to seriously confront going forward. Otherwise, we will have a second pandemic, and that is the one of hunger, which we cannot afford in the Cape Winelands. We are an agricultural sector. There must be food. There will be food. It is all about how we circulate and how we distribute the food. So, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I would like to say, just before you take the questions, is that really, councillors, you can be very proud of being part of the Cape Winelands. We're taking the lead in many discussions, and you've known, I've shared with you all the different platforms where we are represented. The Cape Winelands staff really take the lead, and they are in the forefront, and people take guidance from the Cape Winelands. We are a privileged district, I have to add, and our resources are really available for all the inhabitants of the Cape Winelands. There is, of course, money coming from national government. We have received little money from national government, really very little. When we compare to the rest of the country, what amounts of money went to other district municipalities. I'm talking differences of millions of rands. But we managed here, we can do our thing. But this is a pandemic where we have to work together, and hence again, my statement to say that Mr. Sean Minis is working on the ward councillor representation. How that will pan out, I'm not sure yet now, but I've taken note of the input from Alderman Skeeman and Councillor Boy, and he will come back with those plans. So, Speaker, in conclusion, thank you very much for the opportunity. I would also appreciate if you can have this report because it's much more extensive than the situational report on a monthly basis in this council meetings. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. There's 3 questions. Councillor van Rooyen, you the first one. Councillor van Rooyen.
Yeah, good morning, Speaker.
Good morning.
Yeah, there's basically 3 or 4 things I want to raise. Point number 1, it is very confusing for people, is the employers sending people, their workers, for testing when they show signs of maybe coughing and that. What I found when I visited the test station, there was about 50 people last week sitting there waiting to be tested, who was sent by the employees, but the testing station was closed. I think I was looking then for Sister Williams, because I believe she's in charge of the testing station there, but I can't find her. I think there's much confusion on, and these employees doesn't get paid when they send for testing and that, which means they lost more than 1 day, 1 or 2 days of not working. I think there should be some sort of a directive to employers what to do when they have this idea, or they think that one of the employees got the symptoms in that, and send them for testing. But the concern was it was about 50 people sitting in the Robertson testing station and waited for be tested, and it was closed, and I can't find Sister Williams to have a discussion with her about what to do and that. And as I said, the problem is that these people are losing income. They can't go back to work until they're being cleared in that. The other thing is that there's currently this campaign of the tourism and restaurant and wine industry for their industry to be open. But I don't want, and I listened to the report of the MM, and I don't want us to see as we support that campaign. We are lucky to have the curve been flattened in our areas in the Western Cape. That is because of the well-think strategy from the President and his command council. That's why we have this flattened curve. So as much as this campaign is going on to have the economy open, I think we still want to be seen cautious in that, and not seen as we support the cause for the call for restaurants and the wine industry. I know also that there's a case before the courts at the moment from the wine industry to challenge the regulations in that. We should wait for the outcome and apply the regulations in that. And I think, as I said, is that what happened in the Western Cape, the decrease, is based on the COVID-19 strategy by the Command Council and the President. And I think we should congratulate the President for that. The other thing that I want to raise is about food security. I think we should put money available, or make money available for the idea of community gardens to ensure food security in that. That people start going back to have those gardens and produce food with themselves, and because there's lots of hunger, but we cannot have encourage handouts and stuff like that. I think from our sides, we should also have this program of community gardens, of increased funding for community gardens and that. In terms of communication, I haven't seen, Madam Speaker, a pamphlet of the district lately on the latest on COVID-19. most the platforms which are used to spread the news. I don't think that I think that more than 75% of the residents of the Cape Winelands doesn't receive it because they at home and we know the economic situations in that. So a pamphlet once in a while would do wonders to be dropped at the home for people to read where we stand now and to encourage them the safety measures in that. But that is basically my contribution. But as I said, the biggest concern for me is when employees have been sent for testing and they sit there for days and they lose income and the testing station is closed and no one attend to them. This is basically maybe the greatest concern for me in that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Councillor, for your comments. Madam Mayor, before I come back to you, can I first listen to the other two? And then I'll come back to you. Is that fine with you? Councillor Steerman, your hand was up.
Madam Speaker, I think the first point is that to say thank you very much and congratulate the team, with the Mayor included, for the sterling work that they are doing. The MM, because we can see things are happening. And it's good to see that we start to work together as a district with the province, but also the province with the National Command Council. I think that is a positive one. The only thing that we need is that we need on local level that our leadership as councillors also become involved in assist for civil obedience. But I've got two questions. I'm going to be very brief. The death rate, if the MM can just inform us as a percentage, our Cape Winelands death rate as percentage in the country, but also as a percentage against the worldwide norm. I know there's a percentage of deaths that as a standard that we look at. Are we above or are we in line or are we even less? I think that is the type of information that we need. And then the last point is that I've read that for the past 4 days, Witzenberg and Breda Valley is testing 0. But I know the current strategy is testing 55 plus. Maybe we must make sure whether is there not an age group beyond 55 that are not tested, and that might become a problem to us. That is my very short and brief input. Thank you very much, and we hope, Madam Mayor, for you as a leader, that you were also involved us, because we are eager to become part and parcel of the solution, but not to be part and parcel of the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Steerman. Councillor Snyders, your hand was up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Speaker. I'm audible now, man. Madam Speaker, yeah, my first issue is regarding the coordination task of the municipality. We can coordinate, but if we don't have people, if we don't have other C municipalities that's not working together with us, then this coordination of us will fly through the window. The other thing is that the questions will come to the district municipality, because there's a legally obliged task on the district municipality to do the coordination. And then the questions will be asked is, what is the district municipality doing when the C municipalities are not coming to the party? I'm talking here in the direction of Witzenberg and Breda Valley, because I've studied the figures of these two municipalities from the update from the municipal manager, and that is very, very concerning, because if the totals are not correct, or the totals are not being submitted, then our strategy in fighting this COVID-19 is going in the wrong direction. My second one is the one regarding the communication. We've made a submission that Radio KC and Radio Breda Valley must be used to alert people regarding the COVID-19 precautions. And I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything about that. My third one is that the social development covering the needs area of the people who were laid off during this thing, because there's only poverty starts with receiving your last paycheck, and then the next week or the next month you don't receive any salary anymore, and then poverty kicks in. Now these people are not covered by the UIF for now, and they are not covered by the 350 Rand social grant for now. What is our strategy regarding that, to cover those people? Because the qualifying criteria for social relief is stipulated by SASSA, is stipulated by the Department of Social Development. Now, are we covering those people who were laid off during this pandemic because of the economic situation of the employers? For now, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Snyders. I'm going to hand over to the Mayor now. Mayor, your hand was up. Councillor Stearman, can you please remove your hand?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to answer. I've written down all the questions I'm going to answer, but I'm asking then, MM, will you please fill in where I might omit something? First of all, Councillor van Rooyen, he is concerned about the testing of people sitting and waiting for the whole day. These are exactly the kind of challenges that must go to the JOC of the local municipality and be escalated into the district JOC from where it will be dealt with. So I would like the MM just to again reiterate that process, because if that is true, then we have to deal with that challenge also. So thank you for that. On the tourism and not opening up the industry, the guest houses, the restaurants, I will not really like to comment, because we know that we need income. I have so many narratives of people working as a waiter, and they are then maintaining 6 to 8 to 10 people on that waiter's salary. Now they cannot wait do waitering work in the restaurant, so there is no income, because there is no income in the restaurant. So I would rather not comment on that one, because it is we have different views on that. We have to open up. We have to make sure that we can open up our economy in a safe way. Really taking into account all the regulations that might come out with that. But it is not open yet, so we will have to struggle, and we are struggling with people without jobs. Then the food security. Councillor van Rooyen, thank you very much for that one. We are already busy with that. The Department of Agriculture already is rolling out food gardens, because we also believe that just to hand out food to people is not solving the problem. We are creating a culture of people sitting and waiting for food, and that is not dignified. So the food gardens is already on the go. Then about the communication, and also Councillor Snyders also referred to this, the pamphlets and the communication, sending out the message. I would first of all like to say, Madam Speaker, that there is also new information to say that to hand out a paper to people is dangerous, because you don't know who has handled that piece of paper before you, or even the frontline worker handing out these papers might have something might have an illness, and we will not know. So handing out a paper is a risk. For that reason, we went to loud hailing. We assisted where we were asked for assistance to do loud hailing, and in particular in Witzenberg, we did a lot of loud hailing to send the message to people. The pamphlets now currently are on our website, on Facebook, and it's up in shops against the walls. So it's more posters now than pamphlets. So we are very we are convinced. I am convinced that insofar as we can spread the message, it is there. We are out there. have a look. Then also we have a lot of information in our grapevine, which was circulated. I saw this in the shops with good information for people, and it's in 3 languages. So the communication is out there. Then also we made use of leaders of certain communities to share their experiences, and that was on the radio, and that is really very much appreciated for people to share their experiences with regard to COVID-19, with regards to the quarantine sites, and with regards to the isolation and the recovery. Then we move to Councillor Skierman. Councillor Alderman Skierman, thank you very much for your kind words. Yes, this is very hard work. This is 25 hours a day, 7 days a week, but we do this with a whole heart, because this is how we can serve our communities. The death rate, the can work out those sums. I think it's slightly below the international norm, but the can answer to that. And then the testing 0, the can also answer to that. It's part of the statistics. Then Councillor Snyders, he has a concern about the coordination, and will we be able to answer all the questions? Yes, Councillor Snyders, we are answering to all the questions. Not that there are many questions, because we're doing our function really superbly. And we work with all municipalities. We cannot go out as a district and tell the local municipalities, you said the C, but they're actually B municipalities. We cannot go out and tell them what to do, because all municipalities are independent spheres of government. We are there in an assistive role. We add value, and they have to ask us for our assistance. We cannot go and tell them. But let me give you the assurance, we have really, the District of Cape Wildlands have really excellent relationships amongst our officials, firstly, and also amongst the politicians, to work together to fight this pandemic. It is easy to pick up the phone. It is easy to ask for assistance, and we are long gone now from the homeless, and the number of assistance that we have provided for the homeless people. Our disaster management team has worked very hard to add value to all the local B municipalities. Then also the communication on radio programs. Yes, Councillor Snyders, I did some voice notes personally. We were on Radio Casey, we were on Radio Valley FM, but we must remember that those cost money, that has to be budgeted for. So we do that. We are there. If you didn't hear, I cannot stand in for that, but we are there. And also then Councillor Sanders referred to the social development and the social relief of food. Yes, I must say we work also very good with social development. Mr. P.T. Williams can perhaps in the next session perhaps give you some information on how they work together and how they work for the provision of food. Those plans are really secure and in place. But I must say, DSD, Social Development, they take the lead. We have to follow them because they have the money. But I must say, and I don't want to discuss this, Speaker, but it's my opinion, and that's just to share with you, SASSA is failing us dismally. Really, SASSA doesn't come to that; they do not come to the party, if I can call it that. And there's much work to be done there. Also with the new amounts of money that they will have available now to pay out. So, those are my responses. If you would like to add on, before the speaker takes the next round of questions.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Speaker. Let me just add also with Mayor's last point regarding social relief. It is the mandate of social development and SASSA to do the humanitarian relief. And just to inform Council, the National Treasury and Provincial Treasury issued circulars, letters to all accounting officers, to municipal managers in this case then, to ensure that they do not get involved in unmandated functions, and they particularly also refer to food and humanitarian relief. Just for information, that is what the national government and provincial government both instructed to accounting officers. Councillor Skierman, I try to work out, and I hope my maths are on par. But firstly, And I will see if I could get that a media report also on possible undercount of deaths. And it is tragic, but there's been a study by a unit at the University of Cape Town, which they published in a report that there might be a possible undercount of COVID-related deaths, and which is of concern, but they call it unaccounted for, and it is something that they are continuously looking in, and also the Provincial Department of Health, the head of department, Dr. Keith Cwdm, on a couple of occasions already also alluded to that and looking into that. However, the calculations that I did is it seems that the international norm currently it sits around 4%. That is the international death rate. The South African death rate, it seems, is around 1.7%, and then the Western Cape around 3.2%, and Cape Winelands sits around 3%, the death rate, if my calculations are correct. In terms of the testing, I will try and get the information, Councillor Snyder's, on the testing and the discrepancy that you see, the reasons for the null reporting. I have noted your request, and I will get the question in at the district JOC to Health and just understand that reporting. And then to Councillor van Rooyen, the best that we can advise is that it's Meyer is correct at the district JOC, but we will also just provide the number that people should call to regarding testing and where they could go to, because it is something that is changing depending on again also whether there may be a schedule, but then also depending on where a particular outbreak or spike is, that is then where resources are deployed to. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. MM. I see the Councillor Bongani, your hand was up. Councillor Boy. Councillor Boy.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. My hand was up, but yeah, you've identified Umeya just Comrade Alderman Skierman. Never mind. She have already answered some of questions or comment to. But I just wanted to check. Every time I'm following these reports from the province, sometimes from the job committee, I just want to check and to make Mayor aware that at Brede Valley, they've disbanded the job committee. I'm having a concern when I read there to the provincial job meeting, sometimes report, it says that all B municipalities are attending. So I fail to understand when I consult ANC councillors who are serving to be BVM municipality, that would, what are they representing to the JOC committee of the province, the BVM? Are they attending or not? I just want to check that and to register to Madam Mayor when they are there. They must check that are they still active to their municipality. Because it seems to me, if I read the job meetings reports, all these BV or all these local municipalities, they are attending. They got reps, I believe, to the job committee of the province. Same as Robertson, what do you call now, Langebek. There's no job committee there. What are they representing there? Or when they got report, where are they taking reports from job committee, from the provincial job committee to, if there's no job, so-called committee from their local municipalities pass that one. I want to know or to be told that when they are saying to the reports, as I was saying that I'm following the reports now and then to these groups, when they are saying, I read yesterday or day before, when they said Brede Valley is 0. So I want to know when they are talking about 0, there were no people that are tested. What is that? I just want to know about that, because if they said there were no people, one can challenge that. Every day I make sure after I've becoming healthy from COVID-19, I used to go to the clinic just to check if there are people that are coming for testing. Of course, they are every day. So I just want to know what they are saying when they said Brede Valley, because there's Zweletemba clinic. Sometimes stats are not accurate. So the job committee, mayor, where you are sitting, you must try to find these stats. Stats, sometimes they are confusing people. Going further to SASSA, I thank you when, Mayor, you mentioned SASSA because it was on my notes. SASSA is failing us. Please try to find something to deal with this SASSA, because people are not happy with SASSA. No one is happy with SASSA, actually. We agree on that one. Madam Mayor and the MM, please check also to this thing of groceries that are given NPOs. How are they delivering those NPOs? How are they delivering those groceries? Secondly, who are those NPOs? Because we don't know, sometimes we find NPOs receiving groceries, they are dishing as they want. Hence, I was saying that this job committee of local municipalities must really be looked at. Are they following when OTST giving these groceries or these hampers to these NPOs? For whom are they giving to be given? That is my concern. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Now we're going. The next one was Councillor Rens. Before our handing over to the mayor to answer on that we can move forward, please, councillors. Councillor Rens.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, first of all, we want to welcome the report. It was tabled by the mayor, and it is just good to experience and observe that the district municipality are really part of this big fight against this COVID pandemic. Speaker, having said that, I think it's the second time that I have to table our concern. Because as much as the mayor is saying that there's nothing that we or she can do if it comes to the B municipality, because we understand they have their own independency. But the district municipality also received their own allocation. And I think we have the right, safe to say that we have to put our own criteria. Because I can tell you, and it is not that I'm assuming, this thing of distributing food parcels has been politicized from the start. And as I'm speaking now, it's still been politicized, you know. And our concern is for how long is the mayor going to say that there's nothing that she can do? My suggestion will be, Speaker, is there nothing from our side as district municipality that we can set our own terms and have our own rules and see whether we can rather allocate, because of the reps in the district municipality, I'm talking about all councillors, based on the reps, the presentation, that we can rather ask the administration to get involved in distributing in the different areas. I know it will be difficult to go ward by ward, but our allocation, it is going to the B municipality. All these B municipalities, they are also DA. You know, and I understand if the mayor said it's difficult for her just to do X, Y, and Z, but I'm saying that is the district municipality allocation. And we have the right to have a say in what we think must happen. And I know she don't want to step on toes or to cross boundaries, because that will ultimately go into internal party politics. But we can't repeat ourselves each and every time, Mayor, and asking you to do something. I'm convinced that we have the right to do something. You know, if we can do our allocation to the different areas, I know councils must not be involved, but I can tell you, even the ward committee, if you look to the basis on which the ward committees was established, it was purely political party outplaying in those elections. And for that reason, I think it is enough for us to say, so let's find a way rather from the district municipality to ensure that our allocation is going to the people who's in need for these food parcels. Really. But it don't sit well each and every time to hear that there's nothing we can do, there's nothing we can do. We have to do something because the money that we receive or the food parcels, it come from the taxpayers' money. It's not political parties' money. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm going to hand over to the Mayor. Mayor, you want to answer on that? Then we
Yes,
move.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will gladly try to answer. And again, please be on standby. You'll have to add also to what I'm saying. Firstly, I'm moving, Speaker, to Councillor Boy. To Councillor Boyboy's concern about Breeder Valley, who has disbanded apparently the job committee. And also they also refer to Langeberg having no job committee. I'm going to ask the to address that one, because our he sits in all the district job meetings and he is acutely aware who attends what meetings of the district job. So you can deal with that one. It's not on for municipality not to just disband the job. There must be another can I say explanation to that. But will deal with that one. Then Councillor Boybe also asked about the NBOs. That again brings me to my request, that we have in the next council meeting, Mr. P.T. Williams to please do a representation on the of a presentation on the humanitarian relief, as he does it in the hotspot meetings. Then he can share with all councillors, all the 5B municipalities and all these structures, what we also have heard from him then. Thank you for that one. Then I move to Councillor Rens and his question on the food and the criteria. Councillor Rens, I have to correct you. I've never said I can do nothing. I never used the word nothing. It's all about IGR, intergovernmental relationships. We have to work together with respect to each other. But let me take you to our process. And I do not talk now DA. I do not talk party politics. I prefer to keep the party politics out of these discussions, because we're now here in a local government council meeting and we work with taxpayers' money, which is fit to every inhabitant of this district municipality. So therefore there are certain processes to be followed, and you ask for our own criteria. That is part of my work. What we do according to the law, and what we have to do, and this is what we do, is when we have money to transfer to the municipalities have to submit a proper business plan. And in that business plans, they have to set out the criteria. They have to set out what is it that they want to do with the money, and what is it that they ask the money for. So my municipal manager receives all those business plans, and what is on paper is then in place. I will also ask him to also respond to the process that we follow. Our process is completely above board. If things go wrong on the ground, there is a different way of dealing with that, because then it is party politics, and that I cannot deal within the council meeting. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I may just add.
Mr.
Thank you, Councillor Nchingela. In terms of your request and the jocks, I implore on councillors, and we have representatives of local municipalities, to please take it up within the local municipality if it is regarding the local jock. At the district jock, that is where we have the local municipalities and the local jocks reporting, and we do receive report, both Breeder Valley in the form of Mr. Theo Botha. He reports, and sometimes also Mr. Sion Swart. In the case of Langeberg, it is Mr. Fernando Hoofd and Mr. Mike Magaju, and sometimes also Ms. Celeste Matthijs, that do represent those municipalities at the district job. In our job, I can just to also emphasize, the district JOC is a composition of technical staff, of administrative staff, and those are the only ones. We report from the JOC side and district JOC side. We report into the DCF, which is the political principles. So I would implore you to also just check at the local municipalities. Regarding food parcels, again, I want to reiterate and emphasize, we have been instructed by National Treasury, by Provincial Treasury, that it is not a local government function to and a mandate in terms of humanitarian relief and food parcels. So it is a DSD responsibility, the DSD via the Social Relief Agency, which is SASSA. And the process of the distribution of food parcels have been coordinated from via the processes of DSD and SASSA, and the local municipality do not have any input in that. What we did is to just ensure that we get from SASSA and from DSD their databases and where they did distribute food parcels and households that they did distribute to, in order to compare with the efforts of local municipalities and local NGOs, CBOs, and those involved at the local level, so that you could somehow ensure that you do not have double dipping by individuals and some of the families. And then also the money, the funds that we transfer to local municipalities, we specifically instructed it cannot be used for social relief or humanitarian relief. It had to go to basic service delivery, and also if not basic service delivery, but also to ensure the implementation of the COVID-19 regulations in terms of law enforcement, in terms of PPE, in terms of sanitizing, and so forth. So I can assure you that from our funding that we transferred to local municipalities, it didn't go to any of social relief, humanitarian relief. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Mayor.
Madam Speaker, if I can just ask the MM again, just to share with the councillors the process that needs to be followed should a local municipality ask for assistance or for money or for whatever kind of disaster assistance. There is a certain process to be followed. Please, MM.
Madam Mayor, normally it is registered in the DJOC currently, but also for any other assistance, it's a formal request from the local, because in terms of the section 83 or 84 of the Structures Act, it says that on request by a local municipality, the district municipality must assist within its available resources. So we receive a formal request, and it's via the office of the municipal manager to the municipal manager of the district, and then we perform. However, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it is registered also in the district JOC, and then we assess what could be up. We have had instances where requests have been submitted in the DJOC, but then two local municipalities assist each other. And a point in case was between Drakensberg and Witzenberg, particularly regarding vehicle control points, because of the proximity of the two municipalities in the Hermon Gouda area in particular, if I may call it that. So that is the process.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Councillors, can we then continue now?
Speaker.
Mayor, you want to say something, Mayor?
If I may just conclude, the Speaker, to say that during the time of the pandemic, since 27th of March until today, as we speak, I specifically didn't invite a number of councillors to certain events, to accompany me to certain events. I did it on my own, or with the MM, or with the deputy mayor, not for any particular reason, but to adhere to the regulations, to do not have a meeting with a number of people, to adhere to those those regulations. So of course these things will change as soon as the regulations are lifted and we have a little bit more movability. But please, councillors, understand, I do not want to invite 3 and 4 and 5 councillors, because wherever I travel, there's always the officials to also do the job. And we cannot allow more than, I would say, 5 or 6 people together. So that was the reason why I didn't invite you. It's for your own safety. Social distance, stay at home, keep yourself safe. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, can we now move on? We're still on matters for notification. I hope you see how important this COVID is, that it must be on our council agenda each month, for not for notification, but for discussion. So can we move on then? We are still on is it Boy? Is it Boy? You would
Madam
like
Speaker,
to
sorry.
comment?
Madam Speaker, sorry for delaying you. Ne?
Yeah.
I was not answered, or I didn't hear, maybe if it was said, in terms of what are they meaning when they said to the report 0 for Brede Valley in terms of testing. I just wanted to hear that, if maybe they have mentioned Mayor or MM, I didn't hear that. Can I be taken up to say, when they said 0 testing to Brede Valley, what did they mean? Remember, I've raised to my concern, they've already answered all the others. You see, but I didn't hear this one. Maybe I missed them when they answered this one. And the Collins one, who rents, when he asked in terms of our own budget as Cape Winelands to do ourselves e-distribution, irrespective how, to be monitored by, I don't know, whoever, because these municipalities are failing us. Thank you. Especially to the testing now, when they said 0 to Brede Valley.
Thank you.
Thank
Speaker,
you,
Mayor.
Mr. MM, you may answer.
Thank you, Councillor Nchingila. No, I responded to the testing, and I said we will look into that particular numbers and just get clarity from Department of Health. What you see in the report is as we receive it from the Department of Health, but we will particularly look at those two that you've mentioned. Let me reiterate again, Cape Winelands is not in the business of distributing food parcels. We haven't distributed food parcels to district municipality. As I said again, I want to emphasize, we received, as the accounting officer of this municipality, I received a letter from both national and provincial not to be involved in unmandated function, and they particularly referred to humanitarian relief and social relief matters during this time, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Councillors, Councillor Boy, can you just put your hand down, please? Can we move then on? We are on matters for notification. There's a still on the MM 14.5. Mr. MM? Mr. MM, can you hear me?
Yes, no, Madam Speaker, I think we have dealt with 14.5.
Yes, we did. We did speak.
14.6.
Okay, Madam Speaker, reported in supply chain.
Yes.
Karina, can you just open the item, please? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is again in terms of Regulation 6. We need to report, the Supply Chain Management Unit and the Accounting Officer need to report to Council implementation of the Supply Chain Management Policy of the district, and so we do submit this report to you.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Then we are finished with our matters for notification. Oh, these hands.
Sorry, Speaker.
Oh, okay.
Madam Speaker.
Can we move on for matters for consideration?
Madam Speaker, my hand is raised.
Oh, is your hand still up? Oh, you said sorry.
Yeah, my hand is raised.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, I'm coming to the supply chain management policy. I just want to ask the question if contract management is included in that policy. Specific individuals that must take responsibility if we run past the contract that is not necessary for us. I'm referring now specifically about this communication contract. And then the other thing that is bothering me is consequence management. If consequence management is placed into every policy that we are having, then this and not a general policy, but each and every policy that we are having, there must be consequence management stated in that specific policy. That is my 2 cents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is that a comment, or would you like the MM to answer you on that one?
I would like the MM to answer me on that possibilities. Thank you, Speaker.
Mr.
Thank you.
MM?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Snyders. Councillor Snyders. Councillor Snyders, in terms of the contract management, perhaps the two of us could have an offline discussion again, or your exact need that you would want to know. But let me also say, in terms of consequence management, I can assure you, and I want to refer you back. I can't remember the date when we submitted the progress report on the implementation of the disciplinary board that we had and the implementation that we had. I can particularly remember Alderman Skierman also referring in that particular meeting that he was satisfied with the way that we are dealing with the matters, and I could assure you that we do follow consequence management processes whenever we have, in terms of Section 32, when we're having irregular, fruitless, wasteful expenditure, unauthorized expenditure, that we do follow processes, and you will receive an updated report soon in terms of that regulation again on progress with regard to disciplinary processes that we have followed thus far. And again, to give you further assurance, the Auditor General would also be auditing particularly consequence management and processes that we have instituted. So I will certainly also share that with you. But in terms of consequence management, in terms of the contract management, it's a continuous process, and we also need to, each and every individual or official employee responsible for a particular contract, they also need to provide by year end their evaluation of the work that has been done, and also not only on the quality but also processes followed and so forth. So we are doing that on a continuous basis. So we will certainly, as part of your oversight role, we will provide you with the report again.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Councillors, can we then move over to matters for considerations? 15.1, the Audit Committee. I'm going to hand it over to the portfolio holder, and that is Councillor van Zyl.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. As you've said, it's the Audit Committee Charter for the Cape Winelands District Municipality. Now, the purpose of this submission is that Council consider approving the Audit Committee Charter for the Cwdm. Copy of the Charter is included in the Councillor's documentation as Annexure A. So we've seen it. I propose, therefore, that Council approve the Audit Committee Charter for Cwdm. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillors, can we approve it? Maya?
If there are no questions, Madam Speaker, I would like to second the proposal.
Thank you, Madam. Councillor Snyders?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I just want to make a suggestion. If it's not in the charter, I just want to make a suggestion that the audit committee and the MPAC is supposed to work hand in hand in this municipality of us. That such a direction is being taken up into the charter. The way that the MPAC and the audit committee must work hand in hand regarding investigation of specific maladministration or irregular expenditure or fruitless expenditures for that matter. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you. Mr. Ememio? Mr. Emem?
Do we start with the VBS?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I certainly take note of Councillor Snyder's recommendation. In terms of what we call combined assurance, Councillor, that forms part of that. So I can assure you that the audit committee, internal audit, the risk committee, and also impact, all of those are work together in the end to ensure combined assurance of the governance environment of the district municipality, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Emem. Councillors, can I then assume there's an anomalously acceptance? Can we accept it? 15.1.
Yes, Speaker.
Can we accept it, councillors?
Yes, Speaker.
Yes, Speaker.
Yes, thank you. Then we move. Can you please put your hand down, Councillor Snyders? Councillor Snyders, your hand is still up, thank you. Can we then go to 15.2? Bereavement expenditure applicable to deceased councillors? Maya?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have asked our portfolio holder for Human Resources, Councillor Palesa Ramogabi, please to table this item. It's in her portfolio. Yes, she can table. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Councillor?
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you, Speaker. As we all know, we do have a policy, a bereavement policy for Cape Winelands District Municipality, though it does not speak to councillors. Therefore, the purpose of submission is that council consider to approve standard guidelines for bereavement expenditure related to deceased councillors in order to ensure a consistent approach towards expenditure in respect of deceased councillors' family during a time of bereavement. It is necessary that standard guidelines be considered to provide a uniform framework for cost management. I would like to recommend that Council consider to approve the following standard guidelines for bereavement expenditure related to deceased councillors. A, the family of a deceased councillor who was a councillor on the governing council of the Cape Winelands District Municipality be provided with either a wreath, flower or food parcel to a maximum value of 500 rand. B, the family of a deceased executive mayor, deputy executive mayor, or speaker of any of the 5 local municipalities within the area of jurisdiction of the Cape Winelands District Municipality who was a councillor on the governing council of the applicable local municipality be provided with either a wreath, flowers, food parcel to also a maximum of 500 rand. I move that we accept this recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Palesa. Councillors, can we accept it?
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you. Is there a hand? Councillor Snyders?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Oh,
Councillor Boyboy, you are messing up.
sorry, Chief. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Councillor
Thank you very much.
Councillor Boyboy? Councillor Snyder's hand was up before yours, please.
Yes, I apologize to him.
Okay.
Apology accepted, Councillor. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I read an amount of 4,500 rand and then an amount of 5,000 rand. Can Councillor Ramakobi just explain to us that what is that amount there for? It was mentioned in this item.
Speaker.
Thank you, Madam.
Through you, Speaker, an amount
Yes.
of 4,500 rand of a total appropriation amount to 5,000 in respect of plants, flowers, and other decoration is available on the 2020-2021 annual budget, which means that it is amount that is available on the budget for a financial year, but then we only offering to a deceased councillor family an amount of 500 rand per councillor per family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you very much. Now I
Councillor
heard the voice of this councillor now again.
Councillor Bongani?
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
thank you very much for the opportunity. Leave this VP sky. Madam Speaker, I.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
What is your point of order, Councillor?
A point of order is that Councillor Boybe was mentioning VBS, and we are not involved in VBS. We gave the media a chance to ask our CIC questions about VBS, and he answered clearly.
Councillors,
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
you know me. Don't play politics in my council. Play it outside, please.
But the ANC started with it, Madam Speaker. ANC started with it, see.
Councillor Boyboy, can we continue?
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker, to protect me.
Can we continue with the meeting?
Madam Speaker, my consent to what has been tabled now, 500 rand. We, as the ANC, we are saying that money is too little. But now Upalisa or Councillor Snyders have just raised the consent of 4.5 to 5,000. Then Councillor Palisa is saying that for 2020, 2021. But we as the NC, we were coming to say that this thing is too little. Can we consider other amount, if may I, proposing at least, because now he's saying, if I did hear her response, to say that 2020, 2021, it will be 4.5 to 5,000 at least. That is something, but 500 rand, you know, to some of us, if this COVID was taking me, you are coming with 500 rand here, you'll be chased by my family like anything. What is 500 rand in nowadays? So I'm begging the council to reconsider the 500 rand. That will be an ANC proposal, so to speak. 500 rand, we must relook to 500 rand, propose 2,000 rand at least. Thank you very much.
Thank you, councillors. Madam Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would not like to make the decision here or to propose otherwise. Can we then ask the we can take this back to revisit the amount? We don't have at this point in time any indication. This is purely a projection. We've had now the incident in the past month in Cape Winelands, but I don't think we can just raise this amount. I would like some time to discuss it with the municipal manager, please, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Madam.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor.
Councillor van Rooyen.
Speaker, the MM wants to say something on my point here. Can you just take that before you go to Mr. Reens?
Okay, Mr. MM.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The objective of this amount is never to cover a funeral or bereavement, but also just to inform council that this council also approved an amount of 500 rand for employees, for all officials. So it's exactly the same amount that the council approved for employees. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Order, Madam Speaker, order, please. To
Councillor Boy. Councillor
No,
Boy.
we
Councillor
very
Boy.
much. Okay, Madam Speaker, sorry. I'm listening.
Councillor Boy.
Yes, Mama.
Councillor Boy.
I'm listening,
Please,
Mama.
Please, Councillor Boy.
Yes.
Councillor Reens, your hand was up.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I'm
Yes,
partly
I'm listening.
covered.
I know
I'm
you.
partly covered by the ANC chief whip, and we fully understand, Speaker, through you to the mayor, to the MM, that this is not the intention. Is not to have funeral cover created in the district municipality, but really, we are the leadership of this council, and yeah, we have to account responsibly for any all monies spent. But even saying that, the mere fact that you also included the officials, which is very, very good, give us more reason to differentiate between leadership of council and employees of a municipality. And for that reason, I'm supporting the idea of my ANC chief whip that we at least have a look to increase the amount, you know. And the mere fact that the mayor is asking that she must be given space to go and consult with the municipality, to me is a move in the right direction. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Reens. I'm not going to allow any further more debate because we're going to send it back. Let the mayor and the MM and whoever is, let they discuss it around that. Is that fine with you?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much for that.
Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Madam Speaker.
Yes.
I'm very controlled. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have a challenge in front of us. If the amount of councillors is raised, then the amount of the employees must be raised too. We cannot have a situation that we are more important than the employees of this municipality. That is so. The submission of the EFF is that we keep the amount at 500 as it is.
Speaker,
that is for flowers.
Point of order.
Councillors, I rule you out of order now. This is not open for discussion anymore. We are taking it back now.
We must not be affected by the VBS. We must not be affected. I never said that the councillors is more important than employees.
Councillor Reens, listen to me. Councillor Reens, Councillor Snyders, listen to me.
I'm calling for a point of order, Speaker.
What is your point of order, Councillor Reens?
I never said that we as councillors are more important, but the truth and the fact is there is a differentiation between us and the employees. You know, even if we have to push the amount for the councillors, it will also have an impact on the amount for the employees. So that councillor must not come with this VBS attitude. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillors, this is not open for discussion.
Madam Speaker, I must answer this. Madam Speaker, and I'm not finished. I must answer on this thing and I'm not finished.
Speaker, but you didn't note. Speaker, but you didn't note. You didn't note.
Councillor Snyders, I said there's no discussion around this item anymore.
Madam Speaker, I wasn't finished. I was still talking.
No, Speaker.
Councillor, I rule you out of order now. Councillor,
thank you.
Councillor,
Rule him out of order.
I rule you out of order now. This is not open for discussion. It's no longer a point on the agenda.
Madam Speaker, I was still speaking.
I said it's no longer a point for discussion. It will come back again.
Yeah, but the ANC, they want to be better than other people, Madam Speaker. Let the ANC
Chief, you are only one, man. You are only one here, so you can't be better than us.
I don't care whether I'm 1 or 100 or 1,000.
Councillors?
We will deal with you.
Oh, my friend.
Madam Speaker,
Councillor Snyders.
You are stealing money from COVID funds.
I raise a point of order.
You are only one, man. You are only one.
Speaker,
Councillors, I rule you out of order.
Madam Speaker, I'm raising a point of order. This meeting is becoming unruly. There's no respect for you as a chairperson. You've got all the tools you've got all the tools at your disposal that if a council is unruly, then do what you must do. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Steerman. Councillors, can we move on? If I've got any more trouble, then I'll have to do whatever it is necessary to do. We are now on 15.3. Approval of additional funding received for 2020-2021 financial year. Councillor Van Zyl.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, it's about additional funding. I can read out the whole topic for the 2020-2021 financial year in terms of Section 28(2)(b) of the Local Government Municipal Finance Management Act of 2003, Act number 56 of 2003, and the regulations of the municipal budget and reporting regulations of 2008. Now, Madam Speaker, this has everything to do with the equitable share allocation of the Cwdm. It was increased by central government with 444,000 rand. Madam Speaker, I am requesting our municipal manager to highlight the proposed spending of this additional revenue and also to highlight the spending of our own funds to combat the COVID-19 pandemic, although he has already, in the last instance, covered about everything. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. MM.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, this is the amount that from the billions that have been readjusted for COVID-19 that the district municipality would receive, 444,000 rand, and as such, we have at this stage not spent it as yet, but we intend to spend it, Madam Mayor, Speaker, on PPE and sanitization of the municipality. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Councillors, can we approve the approval of this 444,000? Councillor Meyer?
Can we just please move to the recommendation, please, Madam Speaker?
We are at the recommendation, Meyer.
May I answer there, Madam Speaker?
Yes, you may, Councillor.
I propose that Council approve the additional revenue and expenditure for the 2020-2021 financial year as reflected in Annexes A to E in terms of Section 28(2)(b) of the Local Government Municipal Finance Management Act of 2003 and the Regulations 23(3) of the Municipal Budget and Reporting Regulations of 2008. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Madam Mayor?
If there are no questions, Madam Speaker, I would like to second.
Councillor Snyders, your hand is up.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Yeah, there's nothing wrong in using this 440,000 rand for PPEs and those kind of things. But please don't give it to the ANC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, this is, can you lower your hand, please, Councillor Snyders? Councillor Snyders, can you lower your hand? Can we approve this, Council?
Yes,
I assume it's fine with everybody.
Agreed from ANC. Agreed.
Thank you. Then we are on 15.4, COVID-19 request for additional category of leave in the respect of employees.
Councillor Palesa, Madam Speaker.
Councillor Palesa.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Madam Speaker. To you, Speaker. COVID-19 is a new disease, and there is limited information regarding individual risk factors for an infected person with complications and needing higher levels of medical intervention. In order to minimize the adverse consequences of COVID-19 on selected persons, employers should implement a process in identifying employees who are at high risk of developing severe illnesses from COVID-19 or reside with or care for persons that are at high risk for severe illnesses from COVID-19, including family members, aged parents, and children. I'm still here, Madam Speaker. Based on information and clinical expertise available, older adults and people of any age who have impaired functions of certain organs, heart, lungs, kidney failures, or depressed immune systems are at higher risk for serious complications and severe illnesses from COVID-19. I would move to the recommendation, Speaker. I would like to recommend that Council consider to grant delegated powers to the municipal manager for the creation of an additional category of leave to accommodate employees who are present with comorbidities as certified by a registered medical practitioner and who are at higher risk of complications or death should they be infected with COVID-19, and others unable to return to the workplace and whose work is of such a nature that they cannot perform their duties and responsibilities remotely from home. Thank you, Speaker. Madam Speaker?
Accepted. Yes. Councillor Palesa?
Thank you, Speaker. Ek is klaar.
Well, thank you. Councillors, can we accept the recommendation?
Yes, Speaker.
Thank you, councillors. Alderman Steerman, your hand is up.
Speaker, just a question. I don't think we need to spend time on it. It's a matter of, we know that as a municipality, we are part and parcel of a broader association. So whatever we do, we must just ensure that it's in compliance. That's my only concern, and I don't think we need to discuss this further. So as long as the leave is in compliance with the rest of the municipalities and the provinces and the country, then it can be agreed to. That is just my question.
Thank you, Alderman Steerman.
May I respond?
You may respond then, Mr. MM.
Thank you, Alderman Skiman. Alderman Skiman, we have taken advice from SALGA regarding this, because currently the special leave is not regulated in terms of the National Bargaining Council agreement, and we've taken advice from SALGA, who assisted us and advised. And as you would note, it is for those employees who with comorbidities and who's at higher risk, which cannot perform duties remotely. But we need to get something in place in terms of our leave system to accommodate those also for when it comes to audit purposes in the end. Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Alderman Stearman, Mr. MM. Councillors, can we then go with the recommendation?
Speaker, my hand is raised.
Yes, Councillor Snyders.
Thank you very much, Speaker. As EFF, we are not against this recommendation as such, but we just want to make sure that who is going to certify or to tell the municipal manager that this person is COVID-19 positive, and which documents will be used? Are they going to get a sick certificate from the doctors? If they are going to get a sick certificate from the doctors, then it must be added to this recommendation. You understand? Oh yeah, I see it now. Sorry, man, I'm off track now.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Mr. Emmy, would you like to say something?
Councillors, the councillor has rectified himself, Speaker. I'm okay.
Councillors, are you fine with the recommendations? Can we go with it?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. This brings our ordinary meeting at the end. I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you. We're going into our confidential meeting now.